Good evening, everyone. And yes, it's that time again, and we are actually doing one today. This is indeed Flip-through Friday. For those of you that are not familiar with it, this has usually been my most consistent video up until recently, but we are doing one today because I still have the second half of my book outlet. Book outlet, is that right? Yeah, second half of my last book outlet haul to flip through. I have been quite good here lately. I'm trying to remember the last time I bought a coloring book. It probably was close to the time that I ordered these. So, towards the start of January, maybe mid January. I know, it's shocking. I should have warned you so you could sit down for that. But where I was kind of taking a hiatus, I just wasn't really, I didn't see the point in ordering any more books if I wasn't coloring in the ones I had. So even now, I'm trying to be good. There's a couple out there that I really want to get, and I may, but for now, I'm trying to just cool it for a while. I'm running out of room. So without further ado, we will start with our smallest book and work our way up. I may, hopefully, won't have to just flat out end the video, but I may have to pause at some point if Leroy and one of my other cats decides to get into it. That was a Coke Zero. It probably sounded like I was cracking open a beer, and trust me, if I liked beer, I probably would have been. So, I can't stand beer. Liquor I can do, but beer is just nasty. It's always been nasty. So, anyway, perfect book for Feline February. And speaking of which, just as a reminder, this month I am doing a color along. It is Feline February. Gotta remember that other R in there. 2019. You can use this tag in any social media, YouTube, Instagram, so on. I've shared a couple pictures on there. A couple people have shared theirs so far, so that's just a reminder. Passionista Colorista is also doing a cat color along this month, which I didn't know. I probably wouldn't have done one had I known, but now that the quote cat's out of the bag, ha ha ha. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I know I need to put a disclaimer on this video. Warning may contain awful jokes. I think hers is Cozy Cat Along. So, I wanted to write those there just so you had them. Let me zoom in. I'll have to zoom in for the book anyway. Goodness. There we go. That's a little better. So yeah, that was just a quick reminder. Alright, so I heart coloring cats. I've been looking at this one for a while on Book Outlet. Not really sure if I wanted to get it, but with it being a smaller book, I figured it would be a nice one to have if I'm just kind of in the mood to color something, but not a lot. In comparison to a typically sized coloring book, a typical sized coloring book, and I should have stayed zoomed out for this. Goodness. I am not with it today, people. So here is your standard size coloring book, and then here's this one. So there, it's not even half the size of your typical coloring book. It's pocket size. This would fit great in a probably medium to large purse. So if you wanted something to take with you while you were traveling. So let me zoom in so we can see it a little better. This is, I do not, oh yeah, authors are on the, artists, illustrators, illustrated by Erica Salcedo, Lizzie Preston, and Valeria Valenza. And it says designed by Zoe Bradley and John Bigwood. There's that name again. If you recall, I have a book called A Million Christmas Cats, if I can find it. I bet I'll find the Million Cats one. There's a Million Cats, which is by Lulu Mayo, and there's A Million Christmas Cats, which is by John Bigwood. And I really like how he did that book. And I was hoping I could find more by him. I just haven't seen anything. If anybody knows of something, let me know. But that makes me happy to see that name again. So, wish I could track him down and be like, can you make more books, please? Alright, so a lot of these are pattern type images. They are single-sided, which is really, really nice, especially for a pocket-sized coloring book. The pages are not perforated as far as I can tell. Yeah. And the paper, it's a toothy paper. I would say it's not quite Amazon printed paper, but it probably falls between Amazon printed paper and Creative Haven paper. It's not bad at all. I wouldn't mind at all coloring this. Now look, isn't this just adorable? Like for there are a lot of images in here I probably won't color, but for images like this, these just make me happy. This might be one that I work on soon. Where are my little cat flags? There they are. I need to train myself to always have these on hand when we are flipping through books, because I will find images that I will want to remember for later. I like the little patterns change on the back of each of these. There we go. This fish looked awful happy with that cat staring at him like that. So it's not just cats, it's cat related items like balls of yarn and looks like little toys. Hopefully not a hamster ball. I hope nobody's cruel enough to like put their hamster in a hamster ball and then let their cats bat it around, or letting it go down the stairs. That just doesn't sound like that would end well for the hamster. Hopefully nobody's done that. And hopefully I didn't just put an idea in somebody's head either. That just sounds... See, I'm awful. But this one's cute too. See, this is perfect if I just wanted to sit in the living room and color something, maybe with some gel pens or something, for a few minutes. I like this one too. Patterns can be cute. I'm not a huge pattern person, but every now and then I can get in a mood too. This stuff I typically don't do, but every so often. Every so often. For these other images alone, though, for how much I paid for this book, which I believe was just a couple bucks, it's worth it to me. These cats in this book, when they've got their eye on food, they look awful evil. I love this one. It's too cute. The little tongue sticking out. I love that. Now see, this one I would probably do. I like this one. The cat's looking rather snobbish, which fits them perfectly. And then on the next page, you have them creating havoc. Those are like the two of the sides of a cat's personality. Aloof and snotty, and then causing trouble. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I love this one. These little bitty ones like this. It's pretty much how mine look around feeding time, though. Nobody's got their eyes shut, I'll tell you that. Them dilated eyes. Ain't that the truth? Getting into the slipper. Yeah, these ones where they're actually interacting with their environment are just too cute. I love it. What is he eyeing? Is that a purse or a hat? Oh, it's supposed to be one of those little hats with a pom-pom on top. These remind me a little bit, some of these drawings remind me of, if you're not familiar with it, Simon's Cat is a, I believe it's like a comic strip type thing where they do episodes, and you can find that on YouTube very easily. And some of the personalities of these cats remind me of Simon Cat. And Simon Cat's awesome. I actually need to go over there. I haven't watched any in a while, so. As far as the Liure update, he had a really good day yesterday. Oh, goodness. See, that's an evil looking cat right there. Has he got boots on? Wow. That's awesome. This has far more of these images than I thought it did, so that makes me really happy. Here's another pattern type one I like. He had a really good day yesterday. He was oddly quiet. After a few little tough moments in the morning, all seemed to go well. And then this morning, I don't know what his deal was. He just seemed a lot more wound up. And trust me, I play with him, and I play with him, and I play with him. And it just doesn't seem like it's getting all his energy out. So usually this time of evening, and then when I feed them their final meal, probably final meal, gosh, sounds like they're on like cat death row or something. When I fix them their last meal for the night, last meal sounds even worse. You get what I'm saying. Anyway, after that, he's usually really quiet, so he has settled onto the bed behind me, so thank goodness for that. This is a fairly thick book in terms of the amount of images. Now we got slightly different pattern cat, but similar type background. Those would be nice side by side. Spots with the spotted cat. It should have been a striped rug then with the striped cat. Oh. God, 12 minutes in and we're still in the first book. Well, I never said I was brief about anything in life, so. Some similar looking images in the book, but I don't mind that either, because having a pair sometimes is kind of fun. They're not the exact same images, so. I love the little hearts for pupils. Every time my husband gets up, a cat always winds up getting on his spot on the couch. Almost every single time. Somebody's there cleaning themselves as he's coming back, and he's like, really? That's interesting. So it looks like these pages didn't quite get cut like they were supposed to. Y'all can tell I have not paged through this till just now, so it's probably why it was on. Ooh, no, I ripped it. It's probably why it was on Book Outlet. Hang on. Just a few of them. Let's see, I like this one. I didn't want this one to rip. That's alright. It's not much. A little piece of tape will. I'm not picky. A little piece of tape will take care of that. Yeah, I guess that's why it was on Book Outlet. See, every now and then I'll get a book, and I've got another one here that'll have just real minor damage to it. Here's another one. I do not want to rip this. Hang on. Let's do it this way. This might be better if I don't slice my hand open. Have y'all witness my klutziness on live on camera. Then I'll turn this into a vlog, and then I'll switch to my phone as we go to the hospital, and then I'll record the doctor, me trying to explain to the doctor how I got my hand cut open, and the doctor looking at me like I'm insane, and then I'll have to get a laugh track to put in there, because it seems like something that would happen in a sitcom. So yeah, be aware if you're getting this from Book Outlet, and then it does leave some little things at the top, but I that doesn't bother me that much, so that is probably why it was on Book Outlet. So there's that one. I have another smaller cat related coloring book. Are we sensing a theme? Hey, go check out the name of the channel. Sorry about that. Had to take a drink. This is Vive Le Color, the cat's coloring book. Let's grab our comparison book again. And I will zoom out briefly. Alright. So, this is about, I'm pretty much putting the height of the book in the camera view. So, this is a little more than half the height, but it's not quite all the way across. So, when you take that into account, it's probably about half the size overall length by width of a standard size coloring book. 72 tear out pages. So that's actually what's kind of nice about the little books like this, is what they lack in size they make up for in the number of images. So if you want a book with a good number of images, but they don't have to necessarily be really big images. So this is a Creative Haven book, which I believe, I can't say it's a standard size coloring book in terms of thickness, but most of us have seen one of these. So look at the difference in the thickness of these books. So usually your Creative Haven books will have 30 to 46 images. So that's a good comparison. You get a lot more images in these two different books. I forgot to talk about that with the other one. So, alrighty. And this one is from top to bottom, which is also nice. It's a shame it's not 365 images, or you would have almost like a calendar. And these images are the way the binding's done, these images are going to fall out pretty easily. So just be aware of that. They are one-sided, which is, again, always nice. Especially if you like using light gel pens and fine liners and ultra fine like Sharpies. The paper is nicely thick. At least I think it is. Yeah, that's one image. It's a fairly thick paper. The line art seems to be not dark like you would normally see, so if you're not a fan of that, you probably won't like this book. You do have some patterns. You do have some nice little small images like this. And then you also do have the patterns within the cats themselves. Oh, this would have been cute for Valentine's Day. I wish I had known this was in here. I am going to mark it for the future, though. Maybe I can do that for, like, my husband and my anniversary, which will be in May. He has a birthday. His birthday is May 13th. My birthday is May 20th, so we're exactly a week apart in age. And we got married on May 16th. Which is right smack in the middle of both. And I know some of you are thinking, why would you do that? Trust me, with my husband's memory, I was like, let's pick something close to our birthdays. That way they all just kind of come together and we can do something big and just call it a day. This is a pretty image. Our dating anniversary, when we started dating, is actually coming up towards the end of the month. Oh, there is a cat there. Look at that. I was like, there's no cat in that picture. God, you can't really even see the eyes on that one. That's kind of terrifying. I love these little, I know there's got to be a word for them. I see them, like, in different restaurants and stuff that we go to. I can't remember what they're called. These are already trying to come apart from the glue binding, so this is not a book that's going to stay together very well. It will be very easy to get the pages out. They're not perforated, but you can pretty much rip them off, kind of like a day calendar type format. So they're already 2/3 of the way off. So if I do color on this one, I'm going to have to go back through and I don't know, I may have to keep these in a folder or something to keep them somewhat together. That's a pretty one. That right there might be why this one was on Book Outlet, was because of the binding. Oh, that one went completely. Yeah. That's fine. I like that one. The pages are so thick that sometimes I'm worried I'm actually skipping images. And I should have zoomed in for this. Because I bet y'all saw like most of those and you were like, I can't see anything, Michelle. Because the art's so light on it. Now see, this one, the frame on it's slightly off. I'd have to trim that down. That would bug the heck out of me. I was gonna say it looked kind of like a steampunk cat at first, but I don't know if that would necessarily be classified as that. If you really like the ones with the patterns inside the animals, this is a good one. Though it does have some different art on it. I was trying to look. It doesn't look like there was an artist with it. It just says publishing copyright Hachette Liure. Liure. Illustrations copyright Shutterstock. Shutterstock. Not Shutterstock. Shutterstock. There you go. I am not on the ball today. I'm like forgetting basic things that I should be telling y'all. Well, the pages in this book are a little frustrating in terms of turning them and them staying... Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna... Well, they're not all loose. If they go loose, I'm just gonna put them over here. Because they're gonna keep sliding down like that if I don't. Okay. There we go. That kind of reminds me of a Maine Coon Norwegian Forest Cat, maybe? Yeah, the first ones are still staying somewhat attached, but these last few ones are just all starting to get torn completely apart, so, from the binding. Which this is another one where I probably won't color all the images, but some of the... Now that's an interesting pattern one, because you don't have a actual line art outline. It's just the flowers themselves outlining the cat. That is interesting. That one I would probably try, and I probably will at some point. Okay, this is aggravating. This kind of stuff aggravates you. I would not recommend this book. But see, it's all real here. That one looks like he's got his ears flattened. I don't think that's good. Oh, that's cute. I like that one too. I think if I had to pick one, like if somebody was saying which one do you like better, the I Heart Coloring Cats or this one, I would say the I Heart Coloring Cats would be my preferred choice, just because you've got more of the, like the little kooky pictures. Here's another one like that. Very interesting. I'm more used to seeing this where the outline of the cat's still drawn out. We'll get through this one day. Definitely a lot of different art styles in this, which is nice. I like just the ones with the simple drawings of the cats like that. I'm trying to sit there and think. Yeah, it needs, oh, well, it needs 2 more cats now to be a complete image. There's this coloring book for grown-ups, I think 1 or 2 out there, that has a joke page. It says something like, so-and-so has 11 cats, can you name them all? And it shows a picture with 11 cats. And we had to get the book just for that picture, and that was when we still had Felix and Cal. So now we might have to get another one and do that one too. That sucker's still up on the fridge. We've had that a few years now. I love it. I thought it was hilarious. I don't know where he saw that somewhere. And I'm like, we have to get that. There's just no question. And it would help if y'all could see what I'm showing you. I told y'all, I am not on the ball today. That one's cute. Though I'd probably add something that they were sitting on, like a fence top or something. Little cat mask. Cat with flowers. Now that's pretty. Can you ever play Minecraft? I sound like one of the villagers. Now it's too high. This is an awkward book to hold, evidently. When I'm trying to keep... Aw, I like that one a lot. That's a good one to close with. Stick another flag there. I like that one too. Alright, well, as you can tell, a number of those images got detached, so I'll just have to keep this one in a folder or do something with it. Alright, now, let me back out a little. And let me get a drink of coffee. Yes, coffee. I did not sleep very well last night for some reason. There we go. I have found a lot of the Posh coloring books. This is actually from Ollies, I believe. Yeah, okay, so this one was from Ollies. Last time I went, I got a couple books there. Yeah, I haven't been to Ollies in definitely a month, to not maybe a month and a half. I mean, I went to the town that Ollies is located in, and I did not stop at Ollies last week. I know, that one's shocking too. But I've been picking up a lot of the Posh coloring books that they have. They're really cute. I like a lot of the images in their books. I think I have a garden one, Japanese designs, and then a cats and kittens one. This is a Mandalas version. It says it's by Teresa Logan. And it's there on the front. I did not mention it. Got a dedication and then a letter from her. Talks a little bit about how she loves drawing the books. It gives her great pleasure and she can do it for hours. She speaks to groups, lead workshops, and does signings. I always like to acknowledge that I know, even in small groups, someone or several someones is dealing with hardship, grief, or struggle of some sort. That's life for all of us. There's always someone in pain or sorrow where any group is gathered together. I found drawing these mandalas to be a refreshment for my soul, and I'm confident that you too will find time to sit and get creative. So that's cool. Alright. The one thing I do not like about the Posh pages is that they are double-sided. In terms of our typical coloring book comparison, they are if you turn them this way, they're a little bit longer than I'd say they're about 60 to 70% the size of a typical coloring book. There. See how you kind of see that. Okay. I might as well just keep that one out. That's one I keep grabbing to compare with, so. Alright. So we are doing Mandala Madness for March. Because we have to have a lot of ends going on. So I figured this would be a good book for next month. I would call these medium. I wouldn't say difficulty. I mean, it's not like a video game or something. You've got some really detailed ones in here, but I would say mid-level detail in most of these. I don't see any real simple beginner ones. Now, there are some that have a lot of detail in them. But I was, oh, well, there's one that's fairly straightforward, so. These are really nice, though. Good variety. But I love the ones that have kind of the snowflake design look to them. You don't just have your typical round ones. You've got a lot of different types. I have a feeling by the end of next month, I'm going to be thinking it's going to be a while before I color another mandala. I can already tell. Nah, I say that, and then like the next week I'll want to color one. I should always say the opposite of what I really want to do, because that seems to be how my body operates these days. I know, that was right lighting. Oh well. Man, I am just really struggling today. I don't know why. Lighting's not right. I can't get things lined up right. The camera angles off, out of focus. Just. These are not perforated as far as I can tell. Now there's a good detailed one. I have used gel pens in these books before. This paper is I'm sitting here trying to think. It's pretty close to Amazon printed paper. It's still slightly thicker. I could do gel pen work on these. It might go through a little if they're really juicy gel pens. But I would say gel pens and like your water-based markers, you could probably color in these with, along with the coarse colored pencils. The paper is actually not as toothy. It's more, I'd say, middle of the road between a toothy paper and a smooth paper. That one's actually really pretty. I like that one. If I can not knock these off my desk. There we go. Any of the ones I purchase on Book Outlet or any of the ones I ever purchase on a different site, I'll not only provide the Amazon link if they're on Amazon, but I'll provide the link to the site I purchased them from, because sometimes, you, like with Book Outlet, you can get a far better deal on Book Outlet. I am an Amazon affiliate, but at the end of the day, if there's, I know if I wanted a book somebody else had, I would obviously want the best bargain, so. And that's what I want to do for y'all too. Book Outlet in Dover getting to know me real well. The last few months, I'm surprised. Ollies, I think, actually acknowledged I haven't been in there a while and sent me a 15% off coupon. But I know I hadn't been there. I know I hadn't been there for a while when they're sending you a coupon and they're saying kind of like, "Hey, did you die? Where'd you go?" Oh, one of my other cats is howling. I don't know who was doing that. The weirdest warble. It's good, thick. The Posh coloring books have a good number of images in them. Definitely. Did it say on the front? No, it didn't. I'll have to go look and see if I can figure out how many images are in this. It's definitely more than 30. Oh, these are perforated, though. I just figured that out because the binding loosened up a little bit finally. Yeah, these are perforated, so excellent. Oh, wow, hang on. I like that one with the actual shading already kind of in it, in the mandala itself. I like that one a lot, too. I do have the Flower Mandalas book, which I will be coloring in next month because I have been neglecting that book. And I need to get back to it. I like the other one too, but the flag's there. It can be for both. Man, I am slow today with these flip-throughs. These are lengthy videos anyway, but this one feels like it's longer than usual. And there is the last one. These are Andrews McNeil Publishing. And let me see if it says inside how many pages. Who is doing that? It doesn't say. But I would say in comparison, let's see. Dover or Creative Haven versus a Posh book. So here's your Dover one, here's your Posh one. Definitely thicker than the Creative Haven books, so you're getting a good amount of images. Next up, for something a little different, now we're getting to the bigger size coloring books. This is Fairy Realms Coloring. I believe I found this at Ollies as well. I did, for $2. What drew me to this book, not only was the cover of it itself, but the illustrator's name, Barbara Lanza. I really like Barbara Lanza's books. I have another fairy book of hers. Actually, I have two that are by her, if I'm not mistaken. One is a Zendoodle book, I believe. I'm sitting here glancing. And then I have a Fairy World book of hers that I like a lot too. So this is a little thinner page book. This is probably more of like what you call like a kid's coloring book. But with her, I always love how she draws fairies. So I was like, okay, well, we're still getting it. So... well, I'm still getting it. My husband's probably not going to color out of this. These remind me, a lot of how she does Fairy World, and I love how she does her fairies because they stand on their own a lot. Like, there's some background. These would be great for, like, using chalk or using Neo colors or something for a background, but a lot of her, art is very simple and it stands on its own, and I like that a lot. But then you have ones like this that are just adorable. That is a little chipmunk in a dress, y'all. It looks like they had tea, and yeah, there you go. Hi. Hang on. I'm sitting here thinking on this one. The only problem is that these are double-sided. The paper is not your standard kids coloring paper. At least I don't believe it is. It feels a little bit thicker than that. So, it's a toothy paper. I would say close to Amazon printed paper, but not quite. It still feels a little bit thicker than that. I would say the type of paper, Amazon printed paper, like that they use in like the Heather Valentin books and stuff like that, that's similar type paper. So if you want to keep some of these images and you're torn, I would suggest using pencil on these. That's cute. She also has a nice mix. She's got some detailed ones like this as well that I like a lot. So it's a nice variety. Here is a double page one, which is nice, except for the fact that it goes into the binding, which is stapled, so that kind of stinks, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I think that was the one that was on the front. You've even got a male elf. I guess. He doesn't have wings, so I don't think he's necessarily a fairy. Yeah, my struggle is when I'm looking at these and I get in the mood to color a fairy, it's hard for me to just pick one. That would be a good winter one right there. Have her in like blues. It's like a cake topper. That's awful. That's kind of what it reminds me of, though. That's pretty. You know, some of these images might actually be from Fairy World because I colored this very image in Fairy World. So, if you have Fairy World, I would go look. I don't remember some of these. They may be in some of her other books. If you don't have any of her other books and are looking for one that's a little bit on the inexpensive side, this would be a good way to get a grouping of what I'm assuming to be art from her books. That's what's making me wonder about that. And I really like that one too. Really like that one too. What I probably will do, because her, I believe Fairy World is one-sided. I believe. If I find ones in here I like, I'm going to go check the other books I have of hers to see if they're actually in there. It's hard to keep up with all the different books sometimes, so. Alright. Now we have Joyous Blooms to Color. This is by Eleri Fowler. This book had a little bit of damage. Oh my gosh, Michelle. A little bit of damage to the cover, but that's not a huge deal on my part. It doesn't bother me, and this is one I got from Book Outlet. The cover has an interesting feel. It's very textured. You could probably color it if you really wanted to, especially the back cover. Did it say how many on the back? Nope. That's fine. This is a bigger book. This is probably more of the size of like a magical, your Joanna Basford books, where it's a little bit wider than a typical coloring book, and it's a little bit shorter. But like I said, lengthwise, it's definitely a bigger book. I like these books, but when I'm trying to color in them on my desk, it's pretty awkward. I guess it's because the way my desk is set up. It gets awkward trying to color them because it's just, if I try to turn the book, it's just long enough that I'm really having to shift things around in order to do that. It's a pretty title page. Nameplate page. I don't know why I haven't looked at this one yet for this month, since this is a floral color along month for John at the Bibliophile Colorist. I guess I should be. So, trust me, I am not running short on flowers to color in my collection. And talks a little bit about her influences, how she creates her art. I like this detail. It's always kind of interesting to see how artists actually go about creating their pages. So, looks like there are going to be some quotes in this as well. This is double-sided. The paper does remind me very much of the Joanna Basford type paper. Ooh, that's pretty. I know it looks very simple, but I feel like if you went in there with some pencil and really did some shading, that would turn out really nice. I like this one with the grapes. Butterflies are pretty. I like the flowers around this. I wonder how wild. That is a gorgeous picture. I really like that one. This is another one I've been looking at for a while. Like, I would pull up every now and then, but I wouldn't actually purchase. And then I finally just got around to it. I don't know, some of these, if I wanted to take markers to them, I believe I could sacrifice the page behind them for that. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. I would much rather have them single-sided, but if not, you know, it's a rare book where you want to color every single picture in that book. These are cool with the bees. I like this. I don't like bees in real life, but I like bees on paper. Bees on paper are just fine by me. That's a cool quote. I will not follow where the path may lead, but I will go where there is no path, and I will leave a trail. That one's cool. Some double page spreads in here. Very nice. Cats still have half an hour before they're supposed to eat. I don't know why they're getting antsy. I like that one with the fountain. Very pretty. A few mandalas in this one as well. That's pretty, but I wouldn't want to walk down that. I'd crush all the flowers. Those were cute. It was a little, I'm assuming, birdhouses. Definitely some different pictures in here, which I like. It's pretty with the dragonflies. These are the ones I struggle with, like in the background. Do I want to do a background? Do I just want to leave it? Most of the time I just want to leave it because I'm lazy. That's pretty. Oh, yeah. And on the double pages, these do go down into the binding, which is a little bit of a disappointment. Oh, I know why my lighting on my computer looks yellow. Never mind. It's that stupid program I downloaded that turns it to red light for the evening, and I keep forgetting that it's doing it, and I'm like, why does everything look so yellow on my computer? I don't understand. That's why, Michelle. That's why. And I'm sure I will forget it in a couple weeks when I do another nighttime video, and I'm like, why is it yellow? Because I have no memory anymore. That's cute. Whoop. There is a bunny. A good mix of images that are detailed, that are fairly detailed, and then ones that are not so much. I feel a little less intimidated by some of these than I do the Joanna Basford books. That one's cute. Boy, the eyes on those owls are a little terrifying. I feel like they're trying to look into my soul. That is a double spread right there. Double page spread. A little about the author here at the end. Very cute with the little birds kissing. And then the list of quotes that were throughout the book are actually here at the end too, which is a nice touch. Alright, one more. Let me grab my drink. Ugh, that coffee's getting cold now. Yuck. This is a cozy coloring cookbook. 40 simple recipes to cook, eat, and color. This is by Adrianna Adarme, author of The Year of Cozy. Compared to the Creative Haven book, it is not quite as tall, but it's a little bit wider. So I'd say 70 to 80% overall of a book. It's definitely a little bit smaller than like the Joyous Bloom's book. So you can see there. That probably would give you a little bit better idea. Alright. Drawing inspirations from her beautiful blog, A Cozy Kitchen, author and food blogger Adrianna Adarme, and hopefully I'm not mispronouncing that, has created a happy, cozy, and tasty collection of recipes and illustrations, resulting in a colors you cook pattern extravaganza garnished with sprinkles. Yeah, I don't know about the color as you cook, because that's how we get to Burntown, people. That's how my oven catches on fire, especially if the book's too close to the oven while I'm trying to color. I don't know, are colored pencils flammable? I would assume you wouldn't want alcohol markers near enough. I doubt there's enough in them to cause a problem, but I still don't think it's a good idea to have those near an open flame. I'm just saying. I would caution people against that. You would think that would be obvious. You wouldn't have to caution people against that, but you know, they do say don't use your hairdryer in your bathtub, and they do that for a reason. So, alright. Enough of that. Here is the nameplate page. Here's the introduction. You can use the recipes as a guide for coloring, or you could get weird. You ain't got to tell me twice to get weird. I mean, we're already there, so we've been there for a while. Color the food any color your heart desires. Turn the carrots blue, watermelon purple. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? Y'all do remember like the purple and green ketchup, right? Like, I'm a huge ketchup person, and I could not eat that. I couldn't do it. I love crazy colors and coloring books, but I do not like crazy colors in my food. I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, my brain, it's got to be red. Must be red. So we have cozy chocolate chip cookies. So you have the recipe, and then you have where you can also color associated with that recipe. Spaghetti and meatballs. It looks like where you actually make your own meatballs, which would be cool. I love the corgi in these too. That's fantastic. I love corgis. I've always wanted a corgi, but I probably will never get one because apparently I can't seem to stop collecting cats. I don't know if corgis would try to herd the cats. The cats would probably herd the corgi. So, roasted maple acorn squash with crispy sage and pomegranate seeds. I am tired from reading the title to that recipe. Like, I don't even need to look at the recipe. I'm like, alright, I'm tired. I'm gonna go make a pizza now. Snacking cake. That sounds like cake for one, is what that sounds like. My cake. Nobody else's cake. Jalapeno mac and cheese. Now, my husband would be on board with this. I am a wuss when it comes to spice, so. See, look, we have beer here. And I'm like, I don't like beer. I don't even think I'd like mulled beer. Rye winter citrus muffins. Now, some of these look interesting. Funfetti donuts. I don't need any new excuses to make donuts. I got enough I've got to fight against in here. That right there, if I were to get like Martha Stewart fancy and send out invites for a brunch, that's exactly what I would call it right there. A cozy ass brunch. I like that. So just know if you ever get an invite from me for a brunch, that is going to be what I call it. Goodness, that sounds good. I like the, like I said, I don't know how many of these recipes I will actually make, but I do like the images in them to color. I think they're a lot of fun. Bagel pizzas. Why is there broccoli there? People. Oh, but is that pineapple? Oh my gosh, I totally hope that's pineapple. My brother-in-law thinks pineapple on pizza is like a sin against nature, and I actually kind of dig it on like barbecue chicken pizza. The tangy of the sauce with the tangy pineapple is really good to me. But there's the corgi sleeping. It's like a corgi sighting throughout the book. Coffee frosting. Wow. Espresso powder in hot water. So I can. Does this mean I can eat the cupcakes and use that as an excuse that they're going to keep me awake? Is that what that's telling me? I think that's what it's telling me. Fairy bread. Oh man. Okay. You call for white bread, any sort of sugar like honey or something like that, and you throw in some rainbow colored sprinkles, like, sign me up. Now, this is a dog treat recipe. Do not get it confused. I mean, I guess theoretically you could eat it. I don't know how they taste. I guess I could. Boy, wouldn't that be great? Do a video of me making these just for like human consumption. Because I can tell you right now, the cats are not going to eat that. So, I do like the look on his face though. He's like, finally, something for me. Out of all these recipes, something for me. I like that kitchen scene right there. It's pretty. I don't know if I've ever had rhubarb pie. Might be something to try. Hmm. Passion fruit shandy? Oh, that's beer. No, no. Tea party. I don't think I've had smoked salmon either. That's a lot of Z's. I'm pretty impressed by the number of Z's in that recipe name. I can sound it in my head too. It's just chiz. There's no E in there. There shouldn't be an E. And he looks happy as can be at that. More rhubarb. I wonder if the local store even sells rhubarbs. But if I asked them that, they'd look at me like I was crazy. Like, do you know where you live? Nobody around here wants rhubarb. My stomach don't need any any ice cream right now. I do like me some strawberry shortcakes though. That was like, my dad's not a sweets person, but that was his favorite kind of dessert thing to have that mom would make when I was growing up. Chocolate dip cereal cones. These have Trix, Fruit Loops, and Lucky Charms on them. Sign me up. I'm going for all like, they've got like strawberry rhubarb pie, and now I can't touch any of them because I'm looking for it. Avocado dressing and lemon ricotta pancakes, and I'm all like fairy toast and donuts and um, chocolate dipped cereal cones. So I am, yeah. Obviously, I am easy to please when it comes to recipes, especially if it involves sweet stuff. Not a huge fan of ice cream cake, though. Never have been. I love my cake, I love my ice cream, but I do not like them together. I believe it's an unholy union, in my opinion. It's something, it's a texture thing. I'm sure that's what it is. The cake shouldn't be that cold. I know, I know. I'm weird. That is the understatement of the day. Ratatouille goat cheese tart. That would be one. You know what? I would probably try this just to say I tried it because this looks like something I'd be willing to give a shot. The only problem is I don't know where I would find a Japanese eggplant. And I can tell you right now, the local grocery store does not have Japanese eggplant. If they did, if if they have Japanese eggplant, I will put ranch dressing on my hair and walk around with a traffic cone on my head. So that's how confident I am in that. Sorry, I don't know what has happened to me with this book in particular, but I was doing so good till I got to this book, and then now I am acting a fool. Sponge cake or chocolate cake? Man, decisions, decisions. These look to be kind of random. You know, usually when you get like cookbooks and stuff, you have like appetizers, desserts, meats, things like that. These seem to be kind of just thrown out there. They do have an index in the back though, which is really nice. I do like that. I love the corgis imagining all of those things. That corgi is me. He is my spirit animal. All right. Well, that is it, guys. On that note, it was all good to that last one, and then the crazy hit, and I couldn't stop it. I just couldn't stop it. This has been a good sized video. Hopefully you have enjoyed yourself and found a book that you have some interest in. I will post the links to the book outlet ones down there if they're still on book outlet. Now, some of these have been on there for a while, but then when they run out of stock, they just don't get any more stock. So as long as they're still on there, I will link to them. The ones I got from Ollies, actually this Cat's Coloring Book is one I got from Ollies as well. So these three, I will probably just do like an Amazon link, or if I can find them somewhere else, I'll link them. But I looked at Book Depository, and there are links on there as well sometimes. I may start linking to those as well for the people that don't have Amazon. So I may do that on this video if I can find any of these on there. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.